Hey everyone, Final Infinity here, and welcome back to the channel. So, as most of you probably know that are watching this video, there have been 5 days now of short little snippets of updates on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I did cover the very first little developer comment, and it was a bit of a nothing burger, and I kind of I kind of said as much in that video. But now this 5th day, there's actually something substantial that we could probably talk about for a little bit. And then, since I'm making this video anyway, I'll go back through the other 3 developer comments that I haven't covered yet, just because might as well, since I'm in front of the screen again. But yeah, essentially the big news is that there's going to be a change to the combat system. So let's take a look at what they said about that. Alright, now like I said, we're going to take a look at Update 5 first, so here it is. Question: has the battle system changed from Final Fantasy VII Remake? Answer: in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, new comrades will join you in battle, and you can cooperate with other party members in even closer ways than before. What does this mean? This essentially means that we're going to be getting new characters. That's officially confirmed. I mean, it had to be anyway, because there's only going to be 3 games. And more than likely, actually, I am almost positive we're going to get the entire cast of Final Fantasy VII in Rebirth. That includes Yuffie as a permanent party member. Red 13 will be controllable. He'll have his combat fully fleshed out. And then you got Vincent, you got Cid, right? And Kate Sith. Okay, I'm gonna call him Kate Sith. Ket Shi, whatever. Okay, it's gonna annoy the shit out of me if he's called Ket Shi in the game, which everybody says is the correct pronunciation. But I don't care. Kate Sith. All right, deal with it. Moving on. But yeah, so essentially what this means is there's going to be new characters, we're going to get the full cast, and the changes to the combat are essentially going to be what we saw in the Yuffie DLC, but probably amped up quite a bit. So between Yuffie and Sonon, they had like these synergy moves, right? It was kind of like they fed off of each other, so as long as you had synergy activated, whatever you did as Yuffie, Sonon would kind of mirror. And I think they're going to take it a lot further than that. One of the materia that existed in the Yuffie DLC was called Ninja Cannonball or something like that, where essentially she would jump onto the end, like she would be like mid-air jump, and then she would stand on Sonon's, like, you know, his spear, and then he would chuck her, and she'd roll into a ball like almost like a fastball special. And it would just smack right into the enemy to do like damage. So I'm not sure if they're going to go with synergy abilities or if they're going to just rely on materia, or they'll probably do a little bit of both, since those systems already kind of exist in the game. And that's kind of what the Yuffie DLC was. It was kind of testing the waters, and it was the early stages of what the new combat system is going to be and what we can expect moving forward. And I think that's pretty cool. So this is why I made the videos, because this was the most substantial piece of information we've had so far. The other updates, the other 3 that I didn't cover, there wasn't a whole lot there. Couple of nothing burgers, side of nothing fries, you know. But yeah, I think this is really cool. And, you know, new characters. Can't wait to see how, specifically, I can't wait to see how Cid and Vincent play. Those are the 2 that I'm really scratching my brain to see, like, what it's going to look like. The one that I'm most interested to see is Vincent. Is he going to be, like, jumping around, doing all that cool shit? You know, like in Advent Children, where he's, like, jumping around in his cape and warping around, doing all that vampire shit. I think that'd be really cool and interesting to see. So number 4. Do I need to play Final Fantasy VII Remake to enjoy Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? Answer: no. We have made preparations so that players who did not get a chance to play the first game can fully enjoy Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. What does this mean? Essentially, if I had to put my best guess on it, This means that they're going to do what a lot of other games did. Specifically, the one that comes to mind is God of War Ragnarok, because it's the one that I played most recently. But right there in the main menu, before you press New Game, before you press Start Game, there is a recap of the last game. And all it is it's a brief video that shows you some of the key points of the story of the last game, so that way you're all caught up and you know what's going on. That would make the most sense, and I think that's the way they're going to do it. But I could be wrong. There could be some sort of additional tutorial or something that kind of goes over the events again. I think the best bet would just be to do what God of War Ragnarok did and just make a little video right there in the main menu. So if you're interested and you want to watch it, or hell, even when you start the new game, be like, for those who have not played Final Fantasy VII Remake, would you like to watch a recap video? And if you say no, it just goes right into the action of Rebirth, right? That would make the most sense. So essentially, I think that's what that means. But also, it is a standalone game, so it is the continued narrative and continued story of the remake trilogy, but they're also saying you don't necessarily had to have played the first one to enjoy this one for what it is. I disagree. I think you guys should just go buy Remake and play it. You still got time. You got 6 months or more. So if you have not played it, highly recommend it. Go play it. You can probably find it somewhere discounted and available to enjoy. So you should definitely go do that. Alright. Next developer comment. Alright, so here we have developer comment number 3. What are some of the key things to look forward to in Final Fantasy Rebirth's story? Answer. Players will witness a chain of narrative developments that lie at the very heart of the Final Fantasy VII story while discovering each character's destiny. Okay, so here's how I interpreted this. And there were a lot of memes, and I love the memes. Basically, people saying, Square Enix has 100% confirmed there will be characters and there will be story. That's great. That's the biggest update that we could have ever asked for. That's news right there, right? Well, yes, it is a bit of a nothing burger, but at the same time, the way that I interpret this is it's saying players will witness a chain of narrative developments that lie at the very heart of Final Fantasy VII's story. So in other words, the heart of Final Fantasy VII is what the original game is. So the chain of narrative developments are going to be the key points in the original story, the bits that we're going to hit no matter what. Because they were in the original, they're going to be in this one. Now how the chain all fits together is going to look a little different, I believe. I think this means that things are going to happen maybe out of order, but most likely in a slightly different way. But at the end of the day, I think we're going to hit all the same key points. So instead of event A leads to event B leads to event C, it could be event A leads to event B1 leads to event C. So you still get to point C, but you just went a slightly different direction. Something happened that didn't happen in the original. And that's to be expected. So I would say look forward to more surprises in the narrative and in the story of Rebirth, but also know that it's still going to hit all the major story points. They've said that. Believe it. It's true. Moving on. All right. Well, here's the last developer comment that I didn't cover. Developer comment number 2. Question: how will players journey through the world outside of Midgar in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? What we wanted to know is, will it be open world or not? Will it be on rails or not? Will it be a linear path or not? Will there be some sort of transportation? Are we going everywhere on foot? Will there be a chocobo buggy? You know, the tiny Bronco, the airship? Talk about how we're traversing the world. Their answer: players will be able to journey across the wide and multifaceted world with a high degree of freedom, experiencing a myriad of different stories along the way. Now, what I would like for this to mean is semi-open world, mostly open zone, okay? So open zone being there will be instanced areas, but they'll be so large you won't care. Kind of like how 16's doing it, I guess. That's I think what I've heard and understood about Final Fantasy 16 is that they are also doing open zone. It's not a fully fleshed out, seamless world, but it doesn't matter because with the power of the PlayStation 5, the load times between areas are next to nothing. So who really cares, you know? And also, it doesn't have to be fully open world for me to be able to enjoy it. Anyway, so that's, I think, what it's trying to say is that it's most likely going to be open zone, but you will have the ability to go back and forth through the different zones to go back and complete side missions before the next point of no return, right? And the point of no return will probably be something like the City of the Ancients, or hell, even just climbing in to the northern cave, northern crater, maybe you want to call it. But yeah, so there you go, and experiencing a myriad of different stories. Myriad meaning a lot, many, right? Myriad of different stories. Lots of side quests, lots of fetch quests, probably lots of character development quests. So it's things that you can do, but you don't necessarily have to, like exploring each character's backstory. I don't think that they're gonna force you to do that, but I think that there's gonna be special rewards for doing that, such as like Cid's backstory. You get a little piece of it because the main story demands it, but then you can pry, you can ask questions, you can do stuff for him. They'll flesh out his character a bit more, and then maybe by completing it, you get access to a new weapon. Or something, you know, or it could be a new dual tech move that you unlock for completing each character's story. You know, I think that's what we're looking at here, and that's pretty exciting because I don't feel like everybody's backstory was as fleshed out as it could have been in the original Final Fantasy VII. They did a fine job, don't get me wrong, but to hear more about Vincent's time with the Turks, to hear more about Lucrezia, and for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, you will just stand by. The game will come out, you will play it, and all will be revealed. You will understand, okay? But that kind of stuff right there, I just cannot wait to dive into. And also, even the little slice of life stuff, right? Like, it could be, there could be a series of quests where you farm, you know, where you buy a house, you build a house. I doubt it, but like you never know, right? Because Final Fantasy XIV, they have the Island Sanctuary, where essentially you build up little cabanas, little bases, and you can get creatures, you can take care of them. It's this little side content that kind of gives the game a wider breadth of content to play through. So it should be interesting, and we'll see what myriad of different stories means, but I think that's essentially all it means. Not to read too much into it, which I kind of already did, but more side quests, more relationship quests, more character development quests, and I think that's a great thing. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have today, so you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. Am I right? Am I wrong? Are you excited for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? Are you excited for Final Fantasy 16? Will we be getting a trailer at the Summer Games Fest, or will my prediction be right, and not this Friday, but next on the 1-year anniversary of this teaser that's been playing in the background, this teaser trailer? The 1-year anniversary of it is that when we'll get the Rebirth trailer. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed to the channel, be sure and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date on when I upload. Watch all my videos. Drop a like, I don't remember if I said it, but yeah, do all those good things that help the channel grow. Please and thank you. You guys are great. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.